Hi, I'm Cathy. You may recognize my hands from previous videos, but you probably don't recognize my face. I am not comfortable in front of a camera, and it has taken a pandemic for me to finally film facing the camera. In April, I offered a class to my customers called my a la carte card class, and they were to match up with me 4 different stamp sets. And I had 4 people sign up, and it took 14 projects to get us to match up so that they could get their kits. So I have a lot of projects that are going to be coming up on my channel in the next couple of days. This introduction will be on each and every one of them, but it will, down in the bottom here, show you the minute mark of where you can skip this introduction and go on to the card making. They will be put in a playlist called April a la carte card class. That's so hard to say. And each one will have that description, the person who signed up for the card, and the stamp set. And that way, as you're making your projects, you can just go to your 4 projects. Those of you that are just watching to get inspiration, you're welcome to look at any and all of them. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay healthy and safe during this pandemic, and hope that we can all begin to get back together stamping very soon. This card is for Denise, and Denise, this is one of the cards that I'm making for you with the Painted Poppies stamp set and the coordinating painted labels. So let's get started. For this card, you need a piece of Blackberry Bliss that measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it is scored at 4 3/4. And I always only score on the one side. I think I did this in one of my other videos, but the reason is if you score both, sometimes it won't meet in the middle, and that bugs me. So I always score just one side, and then I just gently kind of press down on the cardstock to get it to fold and get it nice and pressed up against each other. And then press down and then bring my bone folder, excuse my reach, in and set that. And now look at those. They match up perfectly. So we're going to place those down like that. I then need a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card. And then I also need a piece of Whisper White that measures 4 by 2 1/2, and I need 2 of those. I'm using the Painted Poppies DSP, and I think it's got a different name. Hang on. It's Peaceful Poppies. So I'm using the Peaceful Poppies DSP, and I've got 2 of these cut, and they are 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. I have a piece of Purple Posy that measures 2 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches, and it is scored at 4 inches and 4 1/16 inches. I need a piece of Whisper White that measures 2 inches by 3 3/8 inches. And then a scrap piece that will be, oh, I'm sorry. I think I have actually punched this for you, Denise. I'll check your kit, but it's a 1-inch circle that you're going to need. And then you're going to need some black, basic black for these 2 die cuts. So those two, you'll need a piece of coordinating DSP that measures 3/4 inch by 5 1/4 inches. This is a piece that's about 6 inches long of the 1/4 inch white crinkle seam binding, and I took a Blackberry Bliss blends marker and colored it to make it this color. You'll then need a scrap piece of old olive that you'll be die cutting, and a scrap piece of Whisper White for die cutting. And what you'll be stamping and cutting is this flower here and 2 of these leaves. So I've already die cut these for you, Denise, like this and these 2. And you'll be stamping them in Memento ink. And if you can't line them up, I gave you some extras. And if you don't line them up well like that, then just let me know, and since you're so close by, it'll be real easy for you to bring your stamped images by, and we can die cut them real quick. So it'll be like that. And then for these little guys, again, hopefully you can kind of line them up and get them stamped. That one did real well. I think these guys are a little easier than the flower. That one's a little off, but still good. And I think I gave you several extras of these, so you've got a couple shots at this. And then let's get this all out of the way. And then for the little sentiment here, this hello there, that is from the Here's a Card. And it's just this little one here. But you can just use whatever little sentiment you want. Just find something that works for you in your collection. Just like that. And then we're going to take this flower and stamp it here a little bit off to the left on this Whisper White piece, like that. And let's see, I don't recall, nope, no stamping on the inside there. So go with that. So then the colors I'm using are Old Olive, Blackberry Bliss, and Poppy Parade. And you can use an aqua painter, you can use a blender pen, whatever works for you. And I've got some that lay out a lot of color or water like this one does. And then I've got some that don't lay out as much. So this one doesn't, so I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to squeeze my ink pads and use the ink in the base. Now, if you have the blends markers, you can use those as well. Whatever you have. I'm going to take the green and just run down the stems. And then I'll come in, it's got some color in it. And with the Poppy Parade, I'm just going to come into the base here and just give it a little bit of color. And then I'll come back with my Blackberry Bliss and color the rest of the flower. And it's your choice on how deep you want to go with your color. And most of that Poppy Parade will disappear like that. You can come back and get a little bit more and put it in there and give it some color. And then on the inside one, again, you're going to take your Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to put a little bit of more water to it and color it first. And I try and get at least all of it kind of set. And then I'll come back with a little bit of more deep and put it into certain areas that I think might be darker, like along shadows, or and then work my way out on those. And then now I'm going to go back over with the Poppy Parade, and again at the base here put in a little bit of color on the inside of those flowers, just like that. And I'll set that one to the side and die cut it out later. So we've got that all done. Now we can assemble our card. All right, so our little hello goes on to this guy. Just like that. And then we'll take these pieces and we'll secure them down on top of the white. And those will go on the front of my card, on these two panels. So we'll place one here, and place one on the other side. All right. So take this and put it down onto this piece here. And from that first score line, we're going to kind of use that for our matting. Like that. And that is too long. Okay, I removed this and measured it, and this should be 2 inches wide by 3 1/4 inches. So I've fixed that, and I'm going to take this little piece, and I just noticed that I have another spot that needs to be punched out. There we go. Okay. Come on. All right. So I'm going to put some liquid glue along the base here. And that's going to go along the base here. Like that. And then be trimmed off. There we go. All right. Now we got this going. All right. So we'll go back with some adhesive. And again, this guy is going to come in here. Like that. Okay, and then you're going to fold along those two creases. And you want to do both of them because it just helps to absorb that, the width of all the paper that it's going to be folding over. Now I'm going to run some adhesive across this back section, just like that. And I'm going to set that to the side for a few minutes and get this piece together. That's the inside. And this will go along the bottom here. And then using my tear and tape, anybody else ever notice that you do this all the time, no problems, then you get on video or in front of somebody and just can't seem to get it all right? That's me. But hopefully you'll forgive me for goofing up here on this one. All right, so then this will come down here. And another tip, if you haven't heard this from me before, always put your adhesive to your cardstock, not your ribbon. And the reason for that is ribbon will move and paper does not, which means you won't get a wave ever because it can't move on your paper. All right, so now we've got this piece. And I don't want this to be on the back, this flap, right? I want it to be between this piece and this card front so that it is the flap, but from the back you don't see it. So how I do that is I'm going to hold it like this, and I hope you can see this, and place this down so that that's in here, keeping it on the front pieces until I get it centered the way I want. And how I check that is I'll keep my fingers inside there and I'll look down here at the bottom. And once I get it centered the way I want it to be, then I just press that closed, just like that. And now that will lift up and it'll be on the inside, and I can put my inside piece in here, and that will hold and hide the bottom of that flap. Okay, and then on the inside, I've got my flower and then my two leaves. And I'll take a little bit of liquid glue and decide where I want them to go. And put some more liquid glue on the back here. And place that flower in here. And then the final thing is to take this little guy here and put a couple of dimensionals on it. it will go right down here. And I'm actually taking that little loop and matching it with this little loop and placing it just right there. Now you want to make sure when putting those dimensionals that you don't put them out here along this side and have it stick. So then that goes like that. Now we could also take, and I think would be really pretty, although I don't have them right here in front of me, you could put a little rhinestone here. I've got some blue ones. Let's put a little blue one because there are little blue dots here. So we'll, even though my color's a little off. And Denise, I'll stick some of these in your kit. So if you decide you want to use them, you can. So there you go. That's your Painted Poppies card. I hope you enjoy that one, and let me know if you have any questions.